Hello, welcome to our 5th YouTube video in a series that describes the ILESE project. This video talks about the analysis and findings from the first team workshops in late 2021. My name is Julia Morris. One of my specialist jobs on the management team is to oversee the method and analysis of our data. The first workshop was conducted with 217 people organised in 21 teams across 19 different countries. Analysis of the workshop participants show that we have an even spread of representation from each sector, across academe, education and industry. We also have diverse representation across the globe. The first workshop collected data on each of our 3 research questions. As the first workshop was the first research event we've organised, we gathered broad data from the teams on the following 3 questions. What research do we know and use at present? What are the perceived gaps in this research? And how should we address these gaps? We used Miro to document the team's responses, and the 21 different teams generated 1,616 comments across the Miro boards. The ILESE management team then took these comments and coded each one according to its topic using an inductive analysis strategy. Once codes were applied to each comment, we then examined commonalities across the sectors and geographical regions through exploring frequency counts to rank the data. In terms of the research that we know and use at present, the analysis team made the following observations. There was no dominant author, project or topic. The most referenced still only constituted a small number of citations. There were many single-cited papers, projects and topics, and these came from all sectors, suggesting good scope but a lack of significant impact. There was no cross-sector multi-focused ILE activity that appeared to drive what's happening in the field. We noticed that educators were more confident in naming ILE research topics, 2 to 3 times more so than academics or industry individuals, suggesting that there's been some good dissemination of research to educational practitioners. However, we also noted that larger projects and organisations such as the OECD, the New Zealand Ministry of Education and ILETC had the greatest visibility, perhaps because they have the budget and the mandate to disseminate their findings more widely and through a range of materials. In terms of research gaps, we made the following observations. There are 20 key gaps that can be identified, and 3 were dominant. The evaluation of learning environments in terms of student impact, the impact of specific design qualities of learning environments, and inclusivity issues. To finish off the top 5, issues related to teaching and student engagement were ranked highly overall. The graphic shows the overall top 5, as well as where each gap ranked according to sector. Not shown are gaps where sectors had differing priorities. For example, academics and educators rated school systems as being a priority issue, whereas industry's people rated health and well-being more highly than the other 2 sectors. However, these are aberrant findings, and the analysis generally showed a consistent order of issues to be addressed. Interestingly, the lowest ranked gaps were also common. Participants did not feel that COVID, developmental theories, or subject and discipline-specific research was as high a priority as these other areas. Overall, we argued that the 20 gaps can also be clustered into 4 overarching categories of design, teaching and learning, health and well-being, and education systems. Similar to the sector analysis, clear linear trends were seen across geographical regions. In terms of how countries ranked the issues, the gaps analysis points to international consistency for the top 3 issues: evaluation, inclusiveness, and the design of ILE spaces. After this, there is much greater diversity of the priorities for each region. One example of this diversity is that only 3 of our overall 20 research gaps did not rate in the top 5 priority list for any region. From the geographical analysis, it is clear that there's a mandate for a global project or projects that address these top 3 issues, but within this, a need to accommodate more specialised regional interests. The final question of Workshop 1 asked participants how we should begin to address these gaps. We won't be releasing these data at this stage. The analysis provides us with very clear directions on how to plan future research, such as global projects where regions and sectors feel there is a need, as well as specialised projects that target specific regional priorities. The trends emerging from this final part of the workshop lead us to some exciting work in the coming weeks and months. We will rely on both data from the 2 workshops and the regional roundtables to document specific research agendas that are applicable to relevant regions. Let's finish by looking at how progress is going. You may remember this image from past videos. We've just completed the bulk of the work in terms of generating ideas from workshop participants, and it's now about turning those ideas into specific research agendas. This will be done through using the input of the Delphi participants in comparison to the findings from the workshops. If that cross-analysis indicates a significant difference, we will organise a third workshop. But at present, we don't see that as being needed. We feel the next big thing is the regional roundtables, which we'll discuss with you in the coming weeks. This has been and continues to be quite an extraordinary collaborative networking exercise that is building unique knowledge. Thank you for your support throughout the workshops and as we move forward with the scoping study.